Welcome to the Liberating River, where spiritual freedom meets soul aligned wealth. I'm your guide, Wanda F. Nesbitt. Let's break free, build boldly, and live fully together.
Welcome back, family, to the Liberating River. I am your river guide, Wanda F. Nesbitt. And today we are diving into something that affects each and every one of us: energetic boundaries. Let me ask you, have you ever left a conversation or a space and you felt completely drained? Like someone pulled the plug out of your energy? Have you ever felt that? Well, to be honest, that's not random. I think a lot of us experience that. That is called the energy being compromised. In this episode, we will uncover how to stop energy being drained, set boundaries to protect your inner peace, and fuel your purpose with fresh vitality. So let's dive in. Part one: the invisible wall. The first thing we need to understand is that there is an invisible wall in our life. You might ask, what is the invisible wall? Well, it is called energetic boundaries. But why? The way I view it, energetic boundaries, of course, you can't see it. And so I look at it as a spiritual force field. Understand this invisible wall is not one built out of harshness or isolation. It is not about shutting people out. It is actually about knowing where you end and others begin. Just like, you know, some of us, we lock our doors, especially at night, to protect our homes. Well, we kind of need to do the same thing with our energy. We need to protect our spirit, man. It is more like the defining edge of your mind, your heart, and your spirit. And here's the thing: energetic boundaries is definitely more than saying no. They're about carrying an inner clarity that says, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, and this is what I will not allow into my peace. I performed some research, and psychological researchers have long recognized that when people don't have healthy emotional boundaries, guess what? They suffer emotional exhaustion. Have you ever experienced that? Which, unfortunately, as we probably know, it leads to anxiety, irritability, and even reduced cognitive function. One theory I found, it comes from the conservation of resources, or CORE. That's a theory by Dr. Stephen Hofo. CORE says that stress happens when we perceive a threat to our resources. That's either energy, mental space, emotional strength. When we lose those, or when we fail to gain the resources after investing in effort, it messes us up. Setting boundaries helps preserve those resources. So the invisible wall is not just a spiritual metaphor that people throw around. It is actually a protective measure for your mind. And your mind, guess what? Already knows how to use it. When you start practicing emotional and spiritual boundaries, you give your body and mind permission to reset, heal, and honestly show up stronger. Full transparency. The past 5 years has been hellacious for me. Every year, a family member transitioned. If you don't know what that means, or maybe you've never heard of that word before, basically, transitions mean died. So in May of 2020, my father transitioned. December of 21, my eldest brother transitioned. December of 22, my last surviving aunt transitioned. June of 2023, my eldest sister transitioned. Yeah, I had a lot of transitioning going on. After her transition, though, I sought help. I went to a therapist. It was just too much. And if you noticed, I have not mentioned that life was still lifing outside of those events. I still had debt. I have had COVID 4 times every year. Oh, wait. Mm. I'm going to give you this disclaimer right now. If anybody claims COVID is fake, I so want to meet you. Shut your mouth. You are a lie. I have experienced that ridiculous infectious disease, as they call it, an infectious disease every year since 2020. I'm sorry, I will really have to like hurt your feelings, like seriously, because it is real. That's one of my pet peeves. So you've seen something that so you see something that truly gets under my skin. That is something that I experienced and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I know there are people out here who deal with sicknesses on a different level than what I have experienced. I understand that. I get that. I'm not talking about that. And I pray for them. I pray for their healing, that they are able to, recover and even get better. I still believe in miracles. But what I'm talking about is COVID. COVID was and is real. I still take my precautions. Listen, you learn to do what you need to do to protect yourself. I have had my oxygen stats as low as 83. I have been told each time if it drops to 80, come back to the ER. So just don't go there. COVID is real. Okay? Okay. And this is just a little bit of my picture. So imagine mentally, physically grieving and fighting for my own life. You tell me, where do you think I was really mentally? Hence, I went to therapy. And just a nugget for you, go to therapy if you need it. There is no shame to doing that. They are there to help you reset and recenter. So, as I mentioned, I went to therapy from, I'll say, the end of 2023 to 2024. I'm so glad I did it. And the craziest part was that my therapist kicked me out because of two reasons. Number one, listen to me clearly. The only way therapy works is if you actually put in the work, is if you do the work on your own self during the process. When I went home, I took the recommendations and I continue to work on me. You have to do that. The therapist is only providing you with tools for you to figure out the best way and the best plan for you. Did you get that? Therapy isn't cookie cutter. The therapist can only provide their clients with tools to help reset one's own life. Number two, my therapist kicked me out, not because I did anything wrong, but they could see I was morphing. I put in the work. I put the tools that she gave me to work. Those things that were energetically blocking me, I was fighting it. Those things that were draining me, I was fighting it. I thought 2024 was going to be a year of calm. I was wrong. Fortunately, another brother died in December of 2024. Due to his papers being lost, he was an ex military. We had to wait until February of this year, 2025, to finally lay him to rest. So I'm not talking 30 years ago. I'm talking about maybe 7 months ago. I completely understand being energetically drained. I still had to work. I still had other responsibilities. Not an ideal circumstance or situation, but with God and therapy, I survived and am surviving. I know you can relate in some way. Maybe a little less, maybe drastically more. Who knows? It doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter. Only thing that matters is that if you hear me right now, you still have a purpose. Go to therapy.
Stay tuned. To be continued. Coming next week. Thanks for flowing with us on the Liberating River. Subscribe, share, and come back next week for more wisdom, wealth, and alignment. Stay free, stay grounded, stay bold.